Cosmin is coming on tonight because he went through a mentoring process with me, and the purpose was to buy a company because he has a lot of ambition. He has done a lot of self development, but sometimes what happens with a lot of people is like you try to manifest everything. You really just you do all the self development work, but then you realize I need a vehicle to really put my stamp on the world. And Cosme was at the point, I think you'd done so much of the work where you'd fixed all the emotional stuff. You were feeling good every day. You were energized. You're good at sales, good at like so many things you leveled up. But now the next obvious stage is like you almost explode. It's like, I need to put my energy into a real thing in the world. And that's where you were. So the next obvious thing, because you heard from me about buying companies and you thought maybe I'll give it a go.
The journey started probably a couple of weeks before we started the mentorship. So I was working on different business ideas, but none of them worked for me. And then I remember, but David always was telling about buying new businesses or failing businesses. So I told to myself, okay, let's start and looking for some businesses and see how it goes. So I've started to search, and eventually I found one. The first one was the print shop. Yeah, print shop. I told you about it. Um, yeah, with t-shirts. With so was personalized t-shirts. A website with personalized t-shirts. It didn't went well for me. It didn't go how I thought it's gonna be. It was different, although it was only I can say a little boy of he's 22 years old or something like that. He was selling the business for 50,000. But I was nervous when I met him for the first time. I was afraid. I had a lot of things that I was feeling for the first time. Although I was working and doing a lot of challenges that you tell us about and things like that, this was a first time for me, a new thing. And then probably 1 week later, my intuition told me, ask David, ask David, ask David. I came and write you, and I told you I want to start working with you because I was feeling that somehow intuitively I knew that I need help in this process because I thought it's gonna be an easy process, like a friendly conversation with the business owner, but it wasn't like that. Although it seemed easy and friendly, it wasn't like that. I mean, he seemed friendly, but he wasn't. I mean, business is business, and in the end, you have to be strong mentally and emotionally to even to buy a business with your own money. Like that guy have to trust you. Like he's giving away his business, and somehow he's attached on that business. And if f- he feels you that you are not strong enough, he will start questioning, like, should I give him the business, is it okay, and things like that. Then we started the mentorship program, and I've started to see the things different. Like when you're telling me about the offers, about the how to present the offers, how to ask them, how to negotiate, all these kind of things, like my mind was blown away. Like I didn't think about all this stuff. And then I've tried to with this guy after we talk about the offers, and I was confident. The next time when I met him after we started the mentorship, that was the second time when I was going to have a discussion with him, and I gave him the other three offers, and he refused it, although they were very good offers. And then I understood, like, you can't buy a business if you are not like really confident about it. So
Yeah.
then I
Yeah, because the
understood
thing with all these
that
ones is, sorry, as well, getting to that, is like not every business you talk to has to accept everything. Like a lot of people are people. So it's like you need to go through a process of trying many different things, many different businesses, many options. Which again, I'm so happy you didn't get that first business. I know you'll get to that part of the story anyway, but I feel like the one now, I like before I was like, you can make it work. Okay, it's decent. It's an okay business. But this one you got, I'm super hyped about it. So it's like, so it's realizing the first one, if they don't accept it, that's fine. Same as most things. Sometimes you just got to do more things because the confidence I saw in you at the beginning and then later in the stage, how you're presenting things. And this was the same with the prosperity challenge. The first time you went to test drive the Ferrari, you're probably feeling like nervous and other stuff. When you've done it 3, 4 times, it's like, yeah, not a big deal. And you come and people feel your energy. If you're nervous, like a dog, they can smell the fear. Whereas when you're confident and relaxed, they're like, because they think you're a scammer or something. If you're a bit edgy and a bit jumpy, whereas like you're just totally relaxed, people trust you and believe you and go, okay, you're actually serious about this. So yeah, just wanted to put that caveat in.
Yeah. So yeah, I understood that. Also, in the end, I mean, in the first phase, I was a bit upset that that deal didn't work. So I was a bit disappointed, like, ah, why is not working and things like. Then, when we had the next call, I realized that yeah, it's okay. If didn't work, it means it's not for me. So probably something better is waiting for me. So with this thought,
Yeah, because you
yeah,
gave a guy some amazing offers and he just wasn't biting. He's just like, okay, whatever, just next.
yeah, yeah. And in the end, I mean, looking back now, I don't think it was a good deal for me at that point or at this point. Yeah, because yeah, I'm anyway. So it's good that it went like that. And then I've started to. So we were on the that was our third call when you told me like go and call other business. Even if you don't want to buy that business, just call them and ask them and talk to them and maybe even go to see them in person and see the business and things like that. So I did that.
Yeah. And and let me say just for this here, because I want to interject as you're talking, just to give a frame for other people, so you know why this is useful. If any of you did the prosperity challenges before, this is the upgraded prosperity challenge. Let's say you don't even think you want to buy a company, go and talk to these people and negotiate for a company. You learn so much. You get so much confidence. You learn so much about business, what people are willing to accept, what they're not willing to accept. Like I would like I want as a group sometimes people to go out and do this game because when I said to Cosmin, you went out and you talked like lots of different types of businesses, which I'll let you explain. But when you see this as a self development process, it becomes fun. You're like, how can I do it until I'm not scared?
Yeah, so I did that. I was searching for the companies on how is it called, the app OLX, on OLX, like business for sale. That was the keywords that I was
Okay.
using. And
Yeah, yeah. And I think every country had these type of things. You just find
yeah,
it just gives you a first entry to talking to people.
yeah, exactly. Um, and then I've started to call businesses that was appealing for me, although I was sure that I wasn't buying them. But like you said, trying is the best practice. And then I remember first business that I went to see was a restaurant that was selling for
One hundred and fifty thousand.
150,000. Yeah, exactly. And I called the guy. I told him I'm interested, and we set up a meeting and we went to the place and watched the place. And then he started to tell me like I did that and did that, and I was starting to understand a bit more about businesses in general. I was starting to understand how an entrepreneur thinks because he was telling me like, look, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this kind of things. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think about this idea. I didn't. So my mind was expanding with new informations about different businesses. And that this business was interesting because for some reason he was asking too much for what he was offering, and I offered him um like 50,000, only 50,000, and he almost accepted, but for me it was just like to see how it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was this was a first an interesting experience for me with this guy with the restaurant. Also, he texted me, I think yesterday, if I'm still interested about his place.
Yeah. And you notice the price goes down the longer you leave it, the more they'll accept. Is this the one, like I think you said to me it was like I'm sorry if I'm jumping ahead in your story, but it was like 150,000. You said I'll give you 20,000, and he's like I'll think about it. I'll get back to you. It's like, so they can say they want 150,000, but you can offer 20,000. They just some a lot of people they just want out. They're just like I've had enough. Please for like take my lease and let me go, and then you can make it profitable on day one. It's crazy how much like people just like the tiredness that people get when they don't know how to do business.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people were asking why these guys are selling their businesses, and they have like personal reasons, only personal reasons behind it. Like all the businesses that I've seen, none of them was like not working. So or the market wasn't good, or the time is not good. No, it's not about that. Every each and one of them has their own personal reasons. Like they don't have time, they don't have the energy, they a lack of I don't know, inspiration or things like that. Because I've seen a pattern. And the next one that I'm calling and meeting with him, this guy was couldn't couldn't hire people, couldn't delegate. Like he was doing the sales, he was the chef in the restaurant. This is another restaurant that I'm going to see like few days later. And I was wondering, like, you have good numbers in your business, you have loyal customers, you have a good niche, a good you cook good, like you already have clients that are regular clients. Why don't you hire another chef to help you? Nah, nobody can cook like me. And I was like, but yeah, like,
Yeah, I know,
come
classic.
on, like,
You're the best chef in the world. Gordon Ramsay's jealous of your skills.
exactly, exactly. So he was stuck with his business. Like he was like he was having 2000 euro 200,000 um, the business revenue, but he couldn't scale it because he was like he had one or two employees in a big restaurant. So
Yeah, as they say, when you're the major cog in the machine, you're the major clog in the machine. It's building a business beyond it. Like there's nothing wrong with it also as well. Like you can make a good income being the person who runs all the bit. Like that's fine. That's a way you can actually make money from a business instantly that other people can't make it work. But long term, you want to build it around you, not like or not around you, but so you automate it, and that's a whole different process we can get to later. But sorry, Lucy was saying like, how did you find the business on a platform or word of mouth? You found these on a platform. You just search like businesses for sale. This is like the least elegant way to do it, but it's a good way to start going. It's like you go to businesses for sale in my area. Just put your area and just whatever comes up, call people, and then people tell you about other people, and you just start the ball rolling. That's what I was saying about commit to who you're going to become. Do the first option. The way that I usually recommend you get the best deals is when you've networked properly and you have lots of friends that have businesses. Like when we have lots of businesses, usually one or two we don't want. We just let go of them and we're like, okay, enough of this. I can't be bothered with this. I want someone else to take over it. And again, someone they might I don't know if you're on the call. I can't check the bubbles quickly. They were telling me I'm not going to say their name unless they want to say, but they would take an offer for their business. A few years ago on Amazon, it was doing 850,000 a year. I think was the number. And now they just at the point they don't want to do that anymore. They want to do a new thing. It's got a great infrastructure, and they probably like I don't know. I don't want to say what it is, but probably between 10 and 20,000 they take just to have a token money to get out. But then somebody who can take that with new energy and can see a few new ways, you could have a business doing 100,000 a month, easy, and maybe net 20,000 a month if you're a bit creative. So there's lots of these things that people have businesses, but you just have to know how to find it. Also, you can also buy businesses that align with your current business. Like say Lucy Gardens, you have a landscaping company. If you call every other landscaping company and find out if they want to sell it, you might find someone's giving it away at a crazy price. They're having health problems or whatever. They'll sell their list, everything. You buy their list for almost nothing. Give them 2,000 a month or 1,000 a month for the next like year, and then that's it. You have a big list now. You double your business. It's incredible the amount of ways you can use this to your advantage, even if you don't want to buy another company. So going ahead there, I like to interject a little bit just so people know the value for them as well.
Was working by himself in the business. So I had some conversations with this guy, and I presented him one or two offers just to test him. But yeah, we didn't get along because he was asking too much for his business. Anyway, then I kept looking for other businesses, and then I've seen this bakery. Like this was a raw vegan bakery, and I was like, what is this? Like I didn't even know that something like this exists on the market. And I called the guy, and he answered, and we start talking. And he was already in other country because they want to move there. And we had like a 20-minute conversation on the phone, and he gave me the address and told, look, you can go there and have a conversation with my wife. It's a husband and wife kind of business, and have a conversation with her, and yeah, see the place. In the first place, for me, it wasn't that appealing. Like the amount was a bit higher than I was expected. I was expecting to pay when I start this journey, and also I didn't know anything about the bakery and this kind of stuffs. But when I got there, I really liked the place. I really liked the products. When she started to tell me more about the business and the products and how she does it and how everything started, I started to get interested, to get excited about the. Then if you remember, I came on the call with you and told you about the business, and we did the first offers. Really helpful for me because if I didn't have the multiple offers for them, probably we couldn't get along. So the deal didn't go along because I didn't, as you remember, I didn't know that you can offer multiple offers, and the way you helped me to structure those offers was really helpful because in that specifically made a difference. If I didn't present them multiple offers, I we couldn't get along because yeah, like it didn't work without the multiple and different
Yeah,
offers.
because yeah, because see, these different offers. Sometimes when you offer people, because a lot of times people say, "I want 50,000 for my business," and they expect someone to come and say, "Here's 50,000 cash." But if you come up with very creative deals, I think, Cosmin, I think your camera went again. Maybe you turn it off and back on just to oh no, there we go. It's good. Oh, yeah. So whenever you make an offer with people, almost always the offer you want to give them is they don't like it at the beginning. It's just because they don't get it. They're like, no, I want 50,000. But a lot of people have their businesses up for sale for a long time, and nobody comes to them at all. And they get more and more comfortable with an offer later. Where there's like I found my number one objective when I buy a company, because I want to buy it with none of my own money, I like to give them, I'd rather give someone better terms, but way less money up front. And then I want to use the money from the business to buy the business. So like, let's say someone said 50,000 for the company. I would say, okay, how about I'll give you 2,000 a month up to 80,000, but I'm only going to start paying next month. And then, so 2 months from that, I'm not going to give you anything up front. I'll give you 2,000 later. And then you kind of work your way around there. You can work different deals in order to get stuff. But that would be my ideal, where I give them like 2,000 a month for up to 80,000, maybe even up to 100,000. I'd rather pay double, but none of my own money. And I use the business to pay for it itself. So you can get creative and start to find different ways of coming up with it. And we'll go through some of the offers Cosmin put out, if he's happy to share those as well. So it's very interesting that some people, because I was with somebody else I was working with as well to make an offer for a business. That person just wanted to retire, and they needed an ongoing income, and they wanted 300,000 for their business. And again, he's in a business that would have been perfect for that. But it's like if you just offer them a long-term payment over like 5-10 years, they don't need a lot of money up front because they just want a retirement money. So you can do things in different ways where you think you need to raise 300,000, but you don't. Cosmin, reset your camera again there. I don't know what happened. It just you're freezing a little bit. I don't know if it's my internet or yours. I thought in Romania you had great internet. That's what everyone was telling me. You're download specialist of the world. So yeah, so once you understand creative finance, you realize there's many different ways to get what you want. You just have to create it, and don't expect people to accept your first offer. That almost never happens. So, so where are you? Want to talk about the offers that you gave or anything at the beginning?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So
Or like how much did they want initially?
100,000.
Okay. And some of you are like 100,000. You said you buy it for no money. You're like 100,000. What? Are you? It's like, yeah. It doesn't mean you don't give someone something. It's just you don't give it. You don't pay 100,000 cash. You just work things in different ways. So that's what we're saying is like a lot of people if you're if I'm buying failing companies, why I like failing companies because then if they're making losses, I take the losses. So and I take their lease, which is quite a good trick as well because people are locked into like a 4 year lease and they can't get out of it. Where I'll take their lease and their losses, and then they're like, oh, I'm free finally, and then that's it. I don't even have to pay them much more over that. So Cosmin wanted to take one that actually was making a profit. So this is a profitable company, Cosmin. Not hugely profitable, but it's reasonably profitable, right? For like us the size of it. So yeah, so 100,000 they wanted. Um
Yeah, so that's the amount that they were asking for. So first offer um was 70,000, like the one payment cash. I didn't have that money, but I was presenting because I knew that it's hard to accept that offer. But okay, let's go with this offer. Then was one with I think 20,000 down payment, and then the rest was paying like in 3 years or something like that with monthly payments. And another one, I think with 30,000 and the monthly payments in 2 years or 4 years, something like that. I don't remember, but something like that, like a higher amount, but negotiated from the initial price, or a smaller amount with monthly payments. So that was the initial offers that you helped me to do it, and they didn't accept any of this. They called me and they told me like,
and usually they think you're crazy when you bring this the first time,
yeah,
but that's just the first time.
yeah,
So
yeah. So they didn't accept first time, none of them, because they didn't like the offers. Then I had to rethink and see what can be beneficial for both parties. And I remember you told me like you told me to do something like with a partnership. So they I I think they called me one day and told me, we don't accept any of your offers, but we are open to a partnership. So I had to rethink and give them other offers. So I gave them like I think two offers in terms of partnership. What does it mean in terms of partnership? So we'll be 50-50 in the first 12 months, let's say. Then I will buy you out. And they accepted, but they sent me another offer that I wasn't okay with it. And then I went to their place, and I had a no, actually it was something interesting happened here. You don't know this part, David, also, but I think yeah, they wanted at some point. I think they didn't want to sell the business anymore, because when I sent them the last offer, they waited like 2 weeks to answer, and didn't give me an answer. But I didn't call them back. That was a good thing, because they also seen that I'm not desperate to buy it. That was a thing that I knew from you also. And then out of the nowhere, they start calling me like crazy, and I was in London, and I didn't have signal. So the husband sent me a message like, I've tried to call you for the last couple of days, but you don't have signal. You probably are not in the country. So I replied him, yeah, I will come back tomorrow and we can have a conversation tomorrow. And I called him the next day. They were supposed to send me their answer like 10 days previously. But they didn't send me the offer. So now I come back in Romania. I call him, and he was telling me, yeah, my wife is very sick, and we want to make this happen faster, because we can't continue like this, in this manner. She was working so much in the business, and I'm not sure, but somehow I think they wanted to cancel the plan of selling the business and do it on their own. But getting so sick and so tired and so exhausted, probably she said eventually, look, we let's sell the business, because I can't go on like this.
Yeah, there's so many people they just like it just drain because if somebody doesn't know how to make a business, they're just a very intense job. It burns people out. So even if it's profitable, they can't handle it anymore. But there's not always like whenever you're selling a business, there's not a line of 1,000 people wanting it. This is why it's such a good opportunity as well because very few people know how to do this. So then you can take great assets and people just burn out and they're like, please, at the end they're like, somebody just give me something for the love of God, like anything, give me 10 grand, I'm gone, whatever. They just want because to just shut it down is like very painful, but to get something, you get at least somebody has a chance of keeping it on and going. So it's like there's so many possibilities from this. We have some questions before you get to the next part. I know. Just remember where you are about they can't do it anymore because they're feeling drained and sick or whatever. We see is like, do you want to say how much profit was it making?
Yeah,
Christian was saying that.
around 5-6 thousand per month net profit.
Okay, profit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So cool. And then Chip Ram was saying, what was your valuation? What was their annual profit and what was their annual income? So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. But did you think that was a fair value, 100,000 at the time?
um yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
in terms
Yeah.
of
Because
how I got this deal, yeah, but 100,000 in cash, I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's a bit
Yeah,
too
because
much.
that's how I do it as well. Is because a lot of people have these like so many calculations and so many ways of doing it. I don't do things like that. I just think, can I make it monthly profitable immediately? And if I have to pay longer, it's because the business is paying for itself once do the fixes. So then it's like I don't care if it eventually costs me 150,000 over 5 years. I'd rather pay that, and then I get 4, 5, 6,000 a month ongoing for the next 10, 20 years. So it's like whenever you start to know these creative ways of doing it, you don't care so much about the final valuation. You want to get as low as possible, but it's not the end of the world. It's just don't use all your money. The other thing as well is like Cosmin was even saying like he got the price down to 20,000 plus then payments over time in terms of like one example. And you might think, well, I don't have 20,000. And it's like, yeah, but you see now all he has to do is raise 20,000. He doesn't have to raise 100,000 anymore. So your first goal is to get that first. Okay, 100,000. That's a lot for anyone to come up with 100,000 to buy a business. Okay, 20,000 with payments. Okay, so now I only need 20,000. I can figure out the payments later if I know how to improve the business, and then you can even bring that down. So now it's like it's a whole different game raising 20,000. Like between family, friends, people you know, credit cards, everything. 20,000 isn't that big of a deal. You can do that in so many different ways, and even then you can still change the terms of that as well. So you get the first number down to as low as possible with longer term payments, and then you figure out a different way. So um yeah, and Christian said a 5 to 6K profit. Did they pay themselves salaries or is that deducted from the profit? Did the profit
Uh,
include the salaries or the salaries were on top?
Only her salary. So her salary, it was like the minimum. So it's um, 600 euros, like in Romania. Yeah, it's not much. But it's good. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about this, but that was my perspective, because they didn't tell me like but it's how I felt it. And after I had, can you hear me? Yeah. Ah, okay. I thought I'm stuck. Okay, so after I had this conversation with the husband, um, I went and have had like the last conversation with her, because she worked in the business more than him, and although they are a family, I felt like, and I'm feeling she is the one that it's more responsible and have the final decision. She's the final boss, let's say. And I remember, we had this conversation like Friday, and Sunday was New Year's Eve. And I went there, and this was the conversation about the partnership. And it was exactly like you said, David. Like when we we started the conversation, things went smoothly. And some point, like I really felt that she looked in my eyes and told me like, this is not an easy business. It needs someone that can handle the people. It can handle the stress. It Like she was testing me. She was trying to see if I can break inside, or I can sustain this conversation. And I just looked at her, and I was feeling happy inside of me that I can wait for this opportunity. But I didn't tell her anything. Like I was just, okay, cool, I'm okay, let's do this. That's all. Like I didn't say much, but inside of me I was eager to start this journey, and she felt it, because she was then, after this conversation, I felt like she was doing as I was saying. Like she was, how can I say, she was following me, although the business is her. And yeah, but having that conversation, she felt she can trust me, that she can have this partnership even for a shorter period of time, because it wasn't like for a long time. And then we had we met with a lawyer to write down the things, the offer. So we started a partnership for the next 6 months. We do it as a partnership.
Yeah. So
I just
51% you have, right?
Yeah, yeah, 51% for me. In the first 6 months, I gave them 30,000 as a down payment, and the rest I will pay it in 6 months. I will have to give her another 40, and then till the end of the next year, I should pay it in full.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and sometimes people like this is like, oh, but if I'm thinking of doing this, I don't have the other 40. I don't have and it's like, I will. I want to do a course on this as well as like the creative finance part, because this is vital. When I worked for the Rich Dad Poor Dad company, this was the most important course that we taught of all. People were paying like 30,000 just for this knowledge of how to do creative finance. Because once you know how to do this and think about it in different ways, the world opens up. So one way that most people might not realize is like Cosmin figured out is like once you own the business, there's a certain grant that's being given now to certain businesses. Is this how you're planning to do the other 40,000? Yeah, so he had to get the 51% to take ownership of the company, and that means he will then have to own the company for like 4 months, and after that he can apply for the loan from the bank, and then that will pay for the next part. So the other part is like there's so many different ways to get money, and it doesn't. When I say it doesn't have to be your money, you still have to bring money from somewhere, but it doesn't have to be from the money you have right now. Because right at that when you started, you didn't you didn't really have money, right, for this.
Zero.
You had to tap into. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he had none of his own money to do that. So and you sent me a picture that said this is what I have left, 118 lei. So after you did that, it's like, so I know you had like a monthly income or something like that, but that's like you didn't have savings and those type of things. So you're willing to commit to do this and go for it, and to show the money will come from somewhere. The other thing as well is, like, I want to be clear about this. This is not a business success story. This is a business buying success story. The next half is coming now for Cosmin, and I'll help him know in this group as much as possible. But I feel like this company, it's got such a good story that if he knows how to sell it properly and do some of the infrastructure thing, this could be a spectacular company very soon. And then it could feed him for the next 20 years. Or you could sell it again for a much higher amount, something like that. There's so many possibilities. But again, half of the job is done now. Well done. You did amazing. We haven't finished telling the story yet as well, but then the other, I just want people to be aware, business, there is a lot to it, a lot of these pieces, but it's such a joyful game when you're doing something exciting like this. So, like, you've enjoyed the process so far, right? Yeah, it's fun. And it's not always, not every day's sometimes, but it's like an exciting sort of, like, you just feel the adrenaline going when you're putting things together, and how your brain just works in different ways and all the things you learn. So yeah, you were saying 30,000 up front, 51% partnership. You'll take the loan later to pay off the next part.
Yeah, actually, one more thing about let's say for the down payment, because I've started to. Oh, also another thing, I didn't have any money in the beginning, so I didn't have this 30,000 like in my pocket. Just okay, I can pay you. Like I had to think how to get this money, and then I said, okay, the first obvious thing you do, you start calling people that you know they have money. I did that. Um, it didn't work. And then I said, okay, what's the next step I can do? Let's talk to the banks. And then I went to every possible bank here in Romania, in Bucharest, and I asked them, how can I have a loan? Like, I have a new business, like a literally new business that is not producing anything right now, and they told me like we cannot borrow you money and things like that. But then I found an interesting ad on Facebook or whatever, I don't remember. It's a program with another bank right now in Romania that it's giving you the money to start a business. It's giving you a loan of 50,000, up to 50,000. You just have to present them the idea. So then I went on LinkedIn. I found someone that's working on this project in the bank, and I texted her and I told her, look, I need I need to know more about your program. Please call me at this number. And she called me, and I told her, look, I don't want to start a new business from scratch. I already found a business and I want to buy it. Can you give me the money? And she told me, yeah, exactly. Just create a new business, like the documents and things like that, apply, and then we will ask you for an interview. You have to tell us about the business and things like that, and then we will give you the money. So at that moment I was like very relaxed. I told myself, oh, okay, I have the money. It doesn't matter, but I have the first money. And I didn't use that loan, but I can use it whenever I want. That's the interesting part.
Yeah, nice.
So
Oh, so you actually have access to a loan then?
yeah, I have access to this loan, and the
How much is
grant,
that?
that's 50,000. This one is around
Ah, okay.
50,000.
Wow, nice, nice.
Yeah, and this is like a program especially for startups. So you don't have to be like very good at business or things like that, because it's a program that helps new startups. That's this is one bank, because there is another bank that after 3 months of having sales, they can give you up to $40,000 with no condition, with just it's exactly the same. I mean, not the same, but it's similar. It's specifically for startups. They want to help startups to grow. So with these two ideas in my mind, it was really easy for me. Like I was very, how can I say, feeling safe, feeling secure that now I have the money, although I didn't have the money. And somehow the universe brought me money in a different way that I didn't think it's possible, but it happened. So I made 30,000. I paid them the down payment, and now we have like they will stay with me. Yeah, 30,000 down payment. So for the next 6 months, the lady will stay with me in business, so she can teach
Mhm.
me the business.
Which is cool. So you're not on your own straight away because that could be a bit intense sometimes. So at least you have her there guiding you. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We were splitting the profit in these 6 months accordingly to the shareholders, and then I will give them another 40,000, and I will have 70% of the shares, and they will have 30% till I will make the full payment.
yeah,
So
yeah, very nice. So yeah, it's so you can see like a lot of you see like a lot of these things that it's not a straight line process, and some people go, "Well, that sounds difficult." And it's like, well, this is how life is. It just is what it is. Like a lot of times, again, we get into the self development stuff and you hear me thinking about the thinking and ideals, and you think, well, that's how things are going to come to me. It's like, no, that's how you know where to aim yourself. And then Cosmin got to the other part. He did all the work. He like you got to the point where it was like you're just doing more of the same. It's kind of pointless work because you'd done healing your traumas, and that was great work. Now it's like I need to point myself somewhere, and now there's complications. Like the fact you went to all the banks, you found out, you called me and said, hey, help me out. Like you reached out every way possible. You're willing to do things, and if you don't have stuff, this is how you get stuff, and it's scary, and you don't know how to do it. And some days Cosmin will probably feel like crying over the next couple of weeks. Some days he'll be top of the world. Some days it'll be a combination of all. Like who knows? Like all these things happen. It's just like, but this is life. Like it's to embrace these things and to realize. Like let's say worst case scenario. I don't want to put anything. Like say like you take over a business and it just tanks immediately. It's like, so what? You have some numbers on your name that you can default anyway. Who gives a shit? And but you learn something. You play the game of life. You stop being scared. It's like this thing we're also scared. Everything means so much. It's like we have a limited time here on Earth. Let's fucking play. Let's just go. Let's do things. Like again, whenever you sent me that picture, you had 118 lay left. Like how does it doesn't get much worse? Like what's the difference? If you have a minus 30,000 somewhere, it doesn't make any difference. Like if you ever get too much debt, you can just use somebody else's bank account to send money to in the future until like it doesn't matter. These things don't matter. You can just like get around. Like don't be so tired or scared of all these things. And there are many skills to build, but this is how you build the skills. Reading books helps. Like I'm all about books. I'm all about audios. I'm all about stuff, but it doesn't get in the muscle. You have an intellectual idea, but it's very different. Like now you've negotiated these people. You understand the process and how people react. You don't say if they say yes, then you do this. If they say it's like no, it's all over the place. You just keep coming back with something else, and you know if they're like nah, fuck off, or if they're like no, that means okay, come back with something else, and you understand people and things like that. Um, so let me see what question we got. So yeah, do you want to say actually the business, the name of the business, and where people can
yeah,
find it? Actually,
yeah,
I know we didn't say that yet, and then we'll answer some more questions about this financing. Just because it looks great, the place. Like I would love to eat the stuff from there, and I'm very picky. I don't eat like random crap. But if I was in Bucharest, I would. That's the place I would go to get stuff. If I had a company, that's what I would feed my employees. If I was doing catering, this is where I would go for these type of things. So, did you? Yeah. So it's www.rawbakery.ro. And the thing is as well, like the social media, the stuff looks nice there, but you realize there's so much in terms of like can be improved in the social media because you have such like delicious looking things, but it's just very basic. Whereas if you can get someone in to do good quality footage who knows how to film and make it cinematic and other things, I'll talk about the plan for expansion later. I'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that. But I want to see if there's anything else you want to say about the financing. Susanna's saying this call is one of the most valuable sessions we had so far on Peaceful Riches. Love it. Yeah, awesome. So hopefully a lot of you are getting value because you realize this is even if you never want to buy a business, the amount of things you'll learn in this process, the creative finance, the sales, negotiations, how you're going to have to lead employees, how to strategize, like what he does day one, that matters, like how he deals with employees, what's your plan for expansion, do you even have one? Like we can talk about this a little bit. I know this call is going to go on a little bit, like I'm okay to stick around if anyone else is. So I'm enjoying it. I think there's tons of value here, and I think um like also as well, the things Cosmin is saying, that's kind of given the bigger picture. And because you all knew him before, it's not like some plant that I brought from outside that just a, when it's someone you know, it feels different, and you've seen their battles and all the things they've been going through, and now they've finally done taken action on it. Some of you might be considering doing something similar in a different way, even whatever. So yeah. So Daniel says, I know them. I delivered food for them. They're awesome. That's cool. So you have a connection already. So if anyone's in Hairstyle Park, go round, pick up a couple of snacks, and help Cosmin double the revenue already. And tell your friends, because like it matches perfectly what I talk about. I always talk about like eating the sugar. It makes people stupid. Like eating junk food, it makes people dumb. It destroys the gut bio. It destroys, and people can't think properly. If you have children, get them to eat this stuff instead. If you have like family and friends, get them onto this. Because I mean, the thing that blew my mind in Marbella, where we have this stuff, if you buy a bread in a bakery, it's like €1. If you buy a bread in a healthy, natural, non-poison place, it's like €9. Whereas you were saying your place is not much different, the price.
Yeah, yeah. So, an like a normal bakery, it's let's say 15 lei, 15, 18 lei. And we have the prices around 20, 25 leis. So yeah, super reasonable. And like we are using everything natural, 100% natural. We are not using anything that's not good for your health. That was one of the reasons that I resonate with the owners. Like they told me like they are using some special paper for when they put it in the fridge, because the raw vegan sweets, you don't have to really bake them, like put them in the heating. You put them on the fridge. So you have to put it on a special paper, because you put if you put it on the iron at minus 20 degrees, that things from the iron is going in the product. So the taste is different, and also it's bad for your health. But they are using a special paper that it costs money for them. And I love this kind of things. Like you can see that they really want a product that it's really healthy for the so the people see this. They feel it, because people is coming back and say we tried another raw vegan products, but they are not like yours. Although you are the most expensive in the market, but it's not like yours. So
Yeah. But even that's not that expensive compared to other stuff. Because like in terms of your health and your other thing, it's just like it's so important just to have these like good quality. And that's why it's like again we'll talk about the expansion thing, but it's an exciting mission where you can go out like a Christian missionary or a Mormon mission, whatever, and you can like hammer people like, why are you feeding your children poison? Like, what the frick's wrong with you? Come on, you're like, oh, I can't afford. It's like it's like a tiny little bit more. Better to give them a little bit, like cut one cake in half and give them that, and they're not going to be feeling shitty and lethargic. Because again, I see this like our daughter. She's our daughter is very energetic, but she doesn't flip out. Whereas like we go to the park and we see some children, they flip out, they go crazy, and then you look and they're like, oh, they're sitting there with Coca Cola, and they give a child Coca Cola, or they give them some Haribo, and you see them, the little happy child, they come in, eat a Haribo, you can almost do a countdown timer, and then they just start screaming, going crazy, whapping stuff, like, and people are like, my children has tantrums, I don't know why. It's like, well, look at what you're feeding it. And even if you think you're feeding it healthy, you read the labels on the back of the stuff at the supermarket. There's poison in almost everything. You have to be very careful. So if you have a place like this where you can get good quality stuff, still enjoyable, tasty, and delicious, and it's not that much more expensive, it's like the mission that you can sell that and go out and promote. Like that's why whenever you said about this, I'm like, boom, this is awesome. Like you can go on podcasts, you can do fitness podcasts, you can work partner with all the there's so many people you can partner with. You can partner with corporations. Say, if you don't want your employees to be stupid, here we can deliver to your office. Give you the like. There's so many different things you can do to help scale this rapidly. Your biggest problem is can you produce enough? I think that's going to be your problem, not the selling it. I think it's going to be producing. So do you have does anyone have any more questions about this to where we got so far before we move on to like what's the plan? If you have one, hopefully you have one. So, but in the group, the groups here is a resource for you, so we can keep talking about the plans and other stuff going forward. Yeah, Sparkiness says looks amazing, should become a franchise, and I think you probably at least expect to have a few stores within the next year or two anyway, I'd imagine, and some online delivery. Uh, Victor says, "Do you want to talk about the names of the banks for the loans, the startups? Would you mind sharing that with the audience, like which banks
Yeah,
were willing to give the loans?"
yeah, it's Raiffeisen Bank. It's giving. They have like Raiffeisen Factory. It's called. And the other one it's from Transylvania. It's BT Stup. That's how it called.
Yeah, and you just go in and ask them about the startup loan. Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Yeah. So this, yeah,
for the Raiffeisen, I got in touch with this girl on LinkedIn, and she told me all the details. She called me. I still have her number, so if anyone wants to start a startup or something like that, I can give you the number, her number, because she's a really nice girl. Like she was really eager to help me and things like that. And the other one also, I have like I was working in a bank, and a former colleague of mine is working there, and she told me all the details.
yeah, nice. So that's the thing, knowing people as well, networking when you get to know people who work in these places. Because once people like you, if you go in nice as a human, people actually want to help you, and they can help you. So Imar says the Instagram pics do not have the human touch. That's what I felt as well. It's like they're not bad, but and I didn't take that as a negative. Once I saw that, I'm like, amazing, what an opportunity for growth. Because let's say they had like one of the best Instagram pages in the world, you'd be like, oh, shit, if that's not bringing in all the people, then it's like, but the fact that it's decent, okay-ish, but you can make it mind-blowing, and then like the amount of people that come in will be crazy. You get a couple of good promotions. um yeah, even if we do some promotion for you as well, we might get out to a lot of people, and who knows, you have a little party. Sometimes you can do like baking nights in the store. You can bring people down, have like 20 people come in, 30 people come in with who have social media. They can share all the stuff like so quickly. Again, production's your problem, not going to be selling. um Imar says also, when you'll come up with some strategy to make everything social media shareable by customers, will be an organic boom. Yeah. Daniel says, I thought 1 or 2 years ago to become an exclusive courier for this type of business. I'm happy for you, Cosmin. Yeah, it's so funny that you delivered for them. Very nice. Um, yeah, and oh wait, so Alex says, I'm buying from here. I can give you some recipes if you want. My partner does a lot of similar stuff at home because she's not allowed to have gluten and sugar. That's cool. If you're already buying from them, so I think very quickly, probably a lot of people here who live around Bucharest and other stuff might come in and like get a regular. I'd get people signing up for a weekly orders. And Christian says, where did you have the 30K from? The banks or from your own resources? I don't know if you want to say that or
Yeah,
not. Up to you.
I can say
Feel free to
that.
say as much or as little as
I
you
can
want.
say that also. So I had a land that I bought like 3 years ago, but that this is an also an interesting thing because that land was for selling for almost 2 years. So no one was calling, no one was doing anything, and I think 2 days before uh, New Year's Eve, someone called me and told me like, I want to buy your land, and boom, that's it. I sold the land. I paid my because I had another debts. I paid some debts that I had, David, and the rest of the money I gave them for the down payment.
Amazing. So the thing is as well, like some people go, "Oh, it must be nice you had land." And it's like it's amazing how within your family, within your friends, with like whenever we commit to who we are, the synchronicities that come up. Like, again, the fact, the timing of that, the same as like Alex Hootertine and I, we were talking about doing like something like to teach this type of thing, how to buy a business, to do a mastermind program for this type of thing. And as soon as I told him, Cosmin sent me a message saying, "Oh, I did the deal for the business." And I was like, "Boom, you come on Sunday." Everything just lines up whenever you say you're going to go in a certain direction. So it becomes obvious, and and there's so many ways you can get money. Like, don't worry about Cosmin's story is Cosmin's story. You go, "Well, I don't have land." Like, our job is to find out how we can make something work, not how we can not make it work. Like, the thing is, if you'd had zero money, I'd almost for you to try and find another partner who maybe does have money. There's 50 different ways we could have found a way to raise the 20, 30,000. You just keep going until you figure out a way to put it all together. Um, Daniel says raw bakery has soul. Amazing. Yeah. So Victor says, thanks a million. Very useful. Alina says, what were the conditions for getting the loans as a startup?
Uh,
There's probably a lot of questions about these things.
yeah,
So
that's a good question. Actually, for the Raiffeisen factory, you just have to be like you don't have to have how is it called, mispayments. So if you are clean in the credit office, or how is it called in English, you have to yeah, credit score, you have to be clean. If you are clean, that's it, and you have a good business idea for sure, and a good business plan, they 90 more than 90% you are good to go. That's for the Raiffeisen factory, and for the other one, you need to have 3 months where you have incomes. They need to see that you are selling something, that you are making money. They don't have an like an a minimum amount, but they need to see some money, that you are getting some money, and also you need to be clean as a the business owner, as a shareholder.
yeah, yeah, it makes sense. So
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know if your camera's frozen again. Sometimes it may just click back in, but I don't know if anyone else can see it. So Um, yeah, so Shibrian says our job is to know what we want. Yeah, that's the first step, because once you aim yourself in the right direction, and like it's once the next stage feels obvious. Like this is my thing. I always like this. I like to do the inner work until the next stage is obvious, and then when I get the call, like Cosmin can say, "Okay, I want to work with David or whatever," and it's like, boom, okay. It's the next thing's obvious where it seems like, should I do that? Not do that. Boom. Next, the next thing is go and reach out to these businesses. I want to buy a company. The next thing is, and you keep finding the next obvious thing, and then you just go with it. Our job is just to go with it and do our work, do the work that we're like. I ask for guidance all the time. I say I'm always open to the best way, and please, if I'm given guidance, I will do my work and go with the guidance, and that's how I operate in life. And then the next thing just keeps unfolding stage by stage, and sometimes it looks dicey. Again, if that land hadn't sold, would the deal be together? It's like, but the land was supposed to sell, because once you're in that flow, that's how it happens. And again, or you might have had an uncle that had some money, or like who knows? It just, if you keep pressing, eventually you find a way around it. So yeah, Victor says we live near Herrestrow. I knew the name, never visited. We'll definitely be visiting there soon. Amazing. So yeah, that's awesome. I want to go. Hopefully, you'll send me a cake one time. So
I
yeah.
wanna say
So
something, David, about this, because when I was feeling to do the mentorship with you, like for 1 or 2 weeks every day I was feeling like, get in touch with David, get, but my bank account was saying, Don't don't do that, because we don't have money." But the feeling was so powerful that, like, for me it wasn't another option. Like, although as you remember, I didn't have all the money in the beginning, I told you, like, in 3 days I
mhm.
will have the money, because
Yeah,
and I did it.
you're
I had
you're
it.
like, I don't have the money for the mentorship. However,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, let's see how it goes.
And in 3 days I managed to make the money. And I feel like it was exactly the next step that I had to do, because I did if I didn't do the mentorship with you at that time, like, I wasn't here. And it's like you said, it's the next obvious thing, like, somehow, when you are focused and you want to do something, it's like the universe is helping you to do anything.
Yeah, and you just keep finding the way to do it. Because the thing is, like, I want to give everyone as much as possible, but again, like, whenever we're talking one on one, the amount of things on your specific situation we had to like back and forward and writing out the offers and how to present it. It's like there's a lot of individual time. You can get a lot from talking in a group, and that's great. And I wanted, again, I don't hide information. I want to tell you all this stuff. I'll try to create a course. Like, we in the Rich Dad Poor Dad company, we charge 30,000 for people to do the creative finance program, like £30,000, and that's when pounds were worth a lot. They still are kind of, but whereas like people are paying that for this one course, and I'll put it out for you guys just because I'll put it out for you guys. But then sometimes there is just like your own situation. There's only so much I can do as a group, whatever. So saying that, I have been considering, because this is what Alex and Hurutai and I were talking about. It was like something like this would be amazing. Like, this is something I want to just I would like to do one test, and I'm not one in these groups because I don't want to be selling stuff in these groups. That's not the point of this stuff. But I would like to think some people might have been decided they want to do the business buying thing, And if some of you did want to do it, maybe you want to do the mentorship, but then maybe think, okay, it's a bit too high or whatever, you're not there yet. I would split it like if four people wanted to do a mastermind group, I'll create the content, the creative finance, other stuff, do like a shorts video. I'll give everyone the content because I like to give everyone content. But then you guys, if you want to work as a team of like 3, 4, 5 people, meet up. We meet up every week. The way I do with Alex in my group, we have mastermind. We meet up every week. I'll guide you through this process, how to find the business, how to go through it, how to do all these things. And if like four or five of you want to do that, if you don't, whatever, I don't care. I'll do something else. But if four or five of you wanted to do it, I think it would be a fun process. We could do that for a few months. And then I would help us build a template. While we're doing that, I would create all the content for you, but then I'll give it to the group so everyone, all you guys, will have it anyway. But then the people in the mastermind will get to work as a team, really strategize, and really come up with something amazing like this. So if some of you do want to do it, feel free to send me a message. And if like four or five of you by the end of the week said you wanted to be in the mastermind, it'd be like 500 a month each, which is not much. I try to make that because again, somebody's running the calls, they can go 2-3 hours, and we'll have time. We'll work in a group. I'll give you as much as possible. You can start making offers, connecting with people, and as a self development program, I think it'll be one of the most exciting self development programs of all time. So even if you want to buy a company, I think you'll learn a huge amount about it. So I think I'll probably put some stuff in an email, maybe in the next few days. And if four or five of you wanted to do it, like I think 500 is pretty basic price for to have that much attention, focus, and you can message me through the week and we can talk about things and I can look at your business. So if you have a current business, we can also look at it. And Cosmin is welcome to be there as an honorary guest to be part of it. So I told him he was coming on the call. He can come in and just share. So because he's done things so he can share his stuff with that. So and I just think it'd be fun because I'd like to work in this model. If it works, maybe we could offer it for more people, but it'd be nice to do like one group as a test. So Christian says interested. That'd be cool. Yeah, and so Dan says I'm the first one to sign up for that mastermind. Awesome. Yeah. So if you want to send me a private message, if you're interested, if 4 or 5 people do it, we'll do it, and then I think it'll be quite spectacular. So, yeah, and then it's a way of like it's basically 4 people splitting the price of a mentorship. That's kind of how I look at it, and then we'll do the call, so you have a bit less time, but we'll probably stay 2 hours, 3 hours on a call, depends. And then you guys will help each other as well, and you'll do it like group energy, 5, 6 people, and I think it'll be exciting. And then Cosmin, if he wants to join the calls, because I know you're going to be busy, you're welcome to be there. And I think you have some advice that can help people with that. So, um, yeah. So Cosmin, you look at you're about to explode, and you
Yeah,
want to say
yeah,
something
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I wanna share this with the people that are listening because I don't know how many of the people that are in this call are aware of the energies and all these kind of things. But for me, only having the opportunity to be in the call with you, just the two of us, like for me, that was like more than the price that I already paid. Like from that point, everything that I received was bonus in my perception. Like being around you, like now I understand why so many Romanian guys move to Marbella. Like you have
Yeah.
something
I
around
guess
you that
they all cut. Yeah.
it's like
They come into our group, they all get rich, and they all move down to Marbella, and then they all it becomes our friend circle. Like, and again, I want that for all of you here. The more you stick around, and ideally, the more we're together, the more you absorb the energy and normalize it. Because you think if he can do it, then I can do it, and that's true. If I can do it, you can do it. It's just like you just do things consistently, and then before you know it, like again, I want more people to come on because there's a lot of other mentor people as well that tell the same story as you. Like things have just like in a year, you just be like you wouldn't believe the transformation. It's like blows your mind, but it takes a bit of time. But for those of you, if you're just doing the courses, you like properly do them. Don't just fuck around and be like, I'll get to it. Like I'm trying to make it like as concise with the most core, most important things, and you'll be shocked in a year or two from now, like how different things are. So I shouldn't have cut you off there while you were saying nice things about me.
it's like if you remember, I told you like more people. You have to put yourself out for the people. Like what you have, it's amazing. It's magical. Like people need to be around you. You need to be around more people more often because like I feel like somehow, and I'm saying that this very objectively, you are blessed in a way, and this blessing needs to be spread with more people. Like just being around you, people can absorb. If they are open, they can absorb a lot because when we did a mentorship, I had some downs because the first deal didn't went as I supposed to, as I liked, and every time when I was in the call with you, like my energy was shifting instantly. So people who listen this, you can just go with it because it's much faster, and I felt it even years before we did the mentorship, because I was looking at Alex, and he was saying like I was like this, then I started the mentorship with David, and then something changed in his life like very fast, and then I realized like I have to do the mentorship with David because something will change really fast in my life. And when was the point I did it, like inside of me was telling me like call him, call him, call him, call him, even though my mind
Yeah, yeah,
didn't
and I
want.
think
But this is another story.
yeah, I know. There's always like we're always scared of all the stuff. It's just one of those things. But you just like you pick what's right for you. And once you feel again, for anyone else, like here's the thing. Whenever I'm saying these things, if you don't feel a resonance at all, then it's not for you right now. Like just watch the courses, be in the group, have fun. But there'll come a point if you feel like oh, I got to do the next thing. That's when it's like an obvious thing and you go for that. But you want to start trusting yourself. But also, again, I don't want any of these groups to be like feel like you're ever being sold. I'm just offering. Some of you said that might be awesome, and because if there's like 4 or 5 of you there, I realize what content you what gaps in your skills you need. I'll create the courses for that and I'll put it free in the Peaceful Riches group. Because again, I'd never want to hide information. I'm not that type of person. I don't like that. If I can physically put it out for people, again, then I'm happy to do that. So I'm perfectly fine as long as I know people are enjoying it. That's my main thing. Is like if you're enjoying it, I'll keep making this stuff. If you're not enjoying it, then I'll do something else. So, because I have plenty of hobbies that I can fulfill my time with. I have lots of Roman Empire books to read recently. So, um, Christian says, will the mastermind help after the business is bought? Yeah, that's why I want Cosmin to be in there as well, because I appreciate him coming on and sharing that. So he's going to need help in this next stage. Like he knows a lot of things, but he's going to have gaps as well. And I'm willing to like just give you as much as possible. And I hope then you'll share these because the way you share, I like the way you just tell everyone everything. So the ups and the downs, I don't want to like anyone to sugarcoat this, especially sugarcoating. Let's not do that, as we know with your business. But it's in terms of like realizing there is challenges, there is difficulty. Some days you don't feel like doing it. Some days you'll wake up and be like, oh Jesus, oh, and then we can help you come up with different ideas of how you can build new systems, how you can make collaborations. There's so many parts. So yeah, like the thing is with a mastermind, if some of you want to keep going, I'm happy to go. I prefer long term journeys. So like say people want okay, now we bought the business, can we go 3 more months? Sure, like that's fine. And like I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch movies. I don't listen to shitty music. I don't go to crappy entertainment. I don't go to nightclubs. How the frick do you think I entertain myself? Like this is how I entertain myself. The stories you guys have is my Netflix. That is my entertainment. Like whenever I hear what Cosmin's doing, I'm like, boom, it fills my brain with great stories. I'm excited about it, but it's a game I'm playing, so it's like this is my entertainment. I love it, and then yeah, so being with you guys, so I create the content, but you having victories and other stuff, that's how I get my entertainment. So like I love it. If you want to go on long term journey, and I try to make it like the thing is I could put much higher price on stuff, but it's I like the challenges at the certain price I leave it. Like at 2,000 a month, I get a certain type of person that really for the mentorship that really like I really enjoy the challenge. It's usually people like if I did, let's say I did the mentorship free, it would drive me mental. I've got people just wasting my time, and they wouldn't do anything because people who do it for free, it's like you get a different struggle. If I do it for €500, it would be a different problem. I'd have to teach them all the basics of stuff. But I realize at 2,000, people are ready for a big transformation. There's a reason for the pricing. So yeah, Alina says, how much is it? If the mentorship is one now, I put it down there as 1950 for 5 weeks if anyone wants to do that. But if you want to do the mastermind, it'll be 500 for the 5 weeks, split because it's the same as the mentorship, split by four. So, and I don't think like the fact that people are paying 30,000 for a couple of weekends at Creative Finance, and I can give you all of that plus the mentoring, plus the guidance, plus the deals, plus the offers, plus that stuff. I don't think you get much better than that anywhere. So again, this is just my entertainment, so I like it, and I just can't do it for free because that I'll do all the group stuff for free. But again, if you once people pay, they're more invested in the game. Like once you pay that money, Cosme, I know you're willing to do it. I can go for it. So, Daniel sent an oh, is Daniel gonna was Daniel robbing the shop or what's going on there? Or he's like What's going on? He's got a picture of Daniel with his face covered up, and he's got a motorcycle helmet,
Yeah,
but
that.
it's outside of your raw
Yeah,
bakery.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, that's awesome. So it's good that you have connections there and stuff like that. So I hope a lot of you will go around and check Cosmin's business and see how he does over time, and maybe let people, if you like the taste of it, I assume it's going to be delicious. Then tell your friends and family, and they can go around because it's nice to help. If we help each other in the community, that would be incredible. So, and the same for you guys. If any of you do this process with or without me, come on, tell your story. Like I want to hear from you guys. I would start doing lots more of these calls if people have stories and you want to share things that you think will be beneficial for people. So because I think tonight was very beneficial. I think the lessons in here. We still have time if anyone's any questions and wants to ask Cosmin, or if you want to say something, Cosmin, the floor is yours. Go for it.
uh, I just encourage everyone to 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 do it. Like whatever you want to do in your life, it doesn't matter if it's business, relationship. Just just do it. I mean, I I had I had a lot of ups and downs before I got here, but I never stopped. Like I started three other businesses that didn't work well for me, and I invested also money there, and I lost money, but that didn't stop me. So I, everyone that's successful says you have to to keep doing, like keep doing, and eventually the universe it's rewarding you because uh, as you said, David, it doesn't matter if I will fail this business or not. The amount of things that I've learned and the person that I've became, I feel very like I can do it all over again, and it's a piece of cake for me. Like I don't have any fears right now, any issues or things like that. I know it's something new for me, and but I feel prepared inside of me, and that's for me. It's a piece of vegan cake, exactly. Yeah,
That's going to be your new saying, a piece of vegan
yeah.
cake. Even if you're like hate vegans and you think they're annoying people or whatever, it doesn't matter. These cakes will be amazing. Like we go to places vegan cakes, or if you're a vegan, then you'll definitely love it. Like it doesn't matter where you are, they're delicious. They're delicious things. It's like if you don't care even about health, they're still going to be delicious. Like that's the thing. It's not like cardboard type shit that they used to have gluten free stuff, which usually it's like a proper delicious snack, whatever. So, um, Alina says you said the mentorship is 5 weeks. Is that 5 meetings in 1 hour? I My goal is to keep it to 1 hour. It's not uncommon for it to go to 2 hours. We end up covering a lot. Like the thing is, I love this stuff. Like I genuinely can't get enough of this. As long as my eyes don't hurt, we generally cover it. You'll see if we do, if you, some of you decide to do the mastermind, some of them probably will go like 3 hours, whatever. We're talking these things. You can also leave early if you want to, whatever. But I aim for an hour because I don't want to be longer than it needs to be. But yeah, and then in mentorship as well, like you can audio message me, you can video message me, you can send messages back and forward as much, and we can go back and forward and do so many things. So I think the access of that it's a lot. Um, so Imar says the session was beautiful, very kind-hearted. We both sharing everything. Yeah, it was amazing to have Cosmin on. I really appreciate it. I know you always like to get onto the microphone, so I thought you would be a good candidate to come on and talk about this. So, and Robert Green, or Susanna says Robert Green talks about these skills we gain on the road to mastery. It doesn't matter if we fail on the way; it'll eventually get us somewhere. Yeah, the thing is, like some of you know, I love the Rubik's cube. I bought like tons of them, stacks of them. Whenever the first time you do that, it's so difficult. You're trying to figure out your brain. It doesn't make any sense. All the pieces when you try to move it, it's like, what the frick's going on here? Once you spend the time to figure out the system, it doesn't matter how many times somebody scrambles it. You just boop, back. Now it's complete again. Boop, complete again. You can you can give me a broken Rubik's cube, a scrambled Rubik's cube, 1,000 of them, and I can fix every one of them because I know the process. So once you go through this and you know how to buy the companies or fix the companies, because the second stage, as Christian was saying there, the second stage will be to build the company and fix the company. It's the same process. Stage one, buy the company. Stage one, build the company, and do that. It's like when you've done it once and you know, like you didn't do it by luck. A lot of people sometimes just stumble through. They don't know how or why they did it. You did it and you know why each thing works, why the sales, why the negotiating, why the marketing, all these things matter so much. you can just do it over and over and over again. So once you buy one company, you can buy another one, another one, another one, another one, and it's the same process. I don't care. Like I have retail stores, wholesale companies, I have magazines, catalogs, like mail order catalogs. We're sending them out to people. It's just like so many different things. It doesn't matter. It's the same process, and you just do it over and over again. And then for the rest of your life, you don't have to worry about income. And it's such a nice thing. Like once you really master this and put it together, to never have to worry about money again for the rest of your life is such a nice thing. And maybe it takes a year or two of like heavy commitment to figure it out, because there are a lot of pieces together. But after that, like you might not. I'm not promising you're gonna have millions or hundreds of millions, whatever. But you won't ever be like they get into 10,000 will just be like it's not even a thing. Like 10,000 a month personal income. Like that part is the easy part. Like you can just get to that part. You put some things together, monetize it, and then okay, next again the next level is a whole like the next game to get millions, tens of millions. That's another game which we can talk about as well in later. But to get to that first where you can always produce 10,000 a month easily. Once you've done that, boom, you're set for life, and you're never scared. No matter if the economy crashes, no matter what happens, you might have a temporary down, but you'll never stay down. So, um, Ciprian says, "Let's do a mastermind. Learn to build the company." Yeah. So the thing is, this business turnaround, it's the same thing. It is how to build a company, because in order to understand how to buy the right company, you need to know how to fix a company. It's all one thing. So if you have a company, this works for that as well, because it's like you can even buy another part of a company to add it to your current company. So once you really know this, it's like it's the same thing. So even if you had a company, it's still worth joining this mastermind in order to build the company you have right now. And again, it's like 500. It's not like that's super reasonable for what you're going to get. 5 calls, 5 weeks of calls plus all the things, and then we can keep doing it ongoing as long as people want to stay. So yeah, I think that it's an incredible thing for anyone who wants to do that. Um, so Roxana says we want raw sweets and cakes that are. Oh wait, I missed that comment. Oh, we want raw. I think your camera needs refreshed, Cosmin. We want raw sweets and cake our wedding. Do you deliver to Cluj? Yeah. So hopefully Cosmin will start delivering everywhere. And Christian says if there are more than 5 people, will they split into multiple groups? Yeah, like 5 is the most we would do. And if 10 people want it, like again, because I'm just mentioning a small group here, if 5 people, that's cool. I'm not worried beyond that. But if 10 people did want it, then yeah, we can do 2 groups. It's fine. I have plenty of time, which again, I have a lot of interests that I do, but I really like this. I feel I really want to take people through this. I'd like by the end of the year we have like 10 stories like Cosmin at least, or if not maybe way more. Amar says if I were to fly the cakes to Cluj for Roxana's wedding, as in that viral North Face story of replacing the failing waterproof coat via helicopter in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what that's relating to. Yeah. And yeah, Marianne says, congratulations, Cosmin. Very valuable everything you have experienced during this period. Yeah, awesome. So I really appreciate the call. I think there's many more things because Cosmin is in the group. So if you have more questions for him, you can ask him in the group. He seems to be pretty good at replying to things like this, and he will be in the mastermind if anyone want to join. So he'll be our honorary member. He can come and go when he wants. And so I think it's let me check here. Alina says, is it different when buying a service company? No, it's just, when you figure out that, like, the thing is, whenever I built one company, people were like, oh yeah, it's okay for you because you're doing. It's always some story of this, and I was like, okay, how about I buy a different business in a different country? So I have a retail store in the UK, so I'll buy a wholesale company in Spain. Yeah, but it's okay for you. I don't have that type of business. Okay, how about I buy a mail order company? We use physical catalogs, and I post them out, and we send 5,000. I was like, oh yeah, but it's okay for you because I don't have those. It's like, okay, how about I set up a magazine that talks about what's going on in the cities, and then I run ads in it. Oh yeah, but it's okay for you. Okay, how about I'll do mentoring? I'll charge for that. How about seminars? I'll charge for that. How about retreats? I'll charge. Like, it doesn't matter. It's the same. Once you understand the process, it's the same. You have to think about your specific situation. That's different, but the same process is the same. Like, I could take over pretty much any company now. I don't care, and I can make it profitable very quickly because I know the process, and I think you can all get there very quickly as well. So, and it's just the confidence and the peace knowing you can take care of your whole family and everyone you care about for the rest of your life is just such a joyful thing. So in terms of this, if some of you do the mastermind, you'll also be motivating me to create all the courses for everyone to put in this group, so the people in this group can thank you for joining it, because you're the reason that they'll be getting all the creative finance, the how to make the offer, all negotiating courses, all these things we'll create as well. So, um, and the name, I'm not going to say the name, it sounds iffy. What do you have to look when you want to buy a company? Yeah, there's a lot to that. More than the scope of this. We'll do more calls on this. We'll talk about this a bit more. I really want, that's a great question, and I want to talk about that. But I will do a full course, basically almost like a 5 video course or something based on that. So, because there's many things to look at. We'll get to that. So I think that's probably it for now. I think we've been here an hour and a half, which is wonderful. I've really enjoyed it. Cosmin, thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot, and it's so interesting. Like I've loved watching your journey because Cosmin's been on a fun journey since he joined us. He's had many different swings. The first stage he got inspiration. I think it came too much, came too fast because I remember you got fired twice from a job in the same week. So in UK, but you were doing all the prosperity challenge. You leveled up. Then you made more in one day than you did in the previous like months. But then you're almost like had too much energy, and sometimes it scares us, and then you pull back from it, and then you have to come at it a different way. Because like that time you almost made 30,000 in one day, like after like a couple after doing the prosperity challenges. But sometimes can we accept it? A lot of times people can't accept that level of prosperity so fast, so then they do weird stuff and sabotage it a little bit, and then you keep going until you do your inner work, and then you can accept the prosperity. So, and I feel like now you look so calm. I remember like even was that a year ago or something, you were very like in the clouds, like floating. It was like, oh, everyone's love and rainbows, and we're all joy and love, and it's like, and that was good because I know you did a lot of healing, so you leveled up, but that goes away after a while, and then it's like now I see you've got like a calm, a focus, a good presence, and you're ready for it. Where it's like it looks sustainable now, and I really like it, and I feel like it's just such a nice where think you're just going to build so nicely, and it's going to be like a lifelong, just like beautiful, and it's been like I just love to watch your journey. It's such a fun process. So yeah. And John, yeah. So Susanna says thank you, Cosmin and David. Love to be here. Yeah, we love to have you here. It's amazing. So and John says this is a bit out of scope for the current call, but if someone would join the group now, which of the current programs would you recommend first? Um, if someone would join the group now, yeah, I think the thinking and ideals is a good one because it's been organized very well. Like I want to make them more rewatchable. I'll probably redo a 21-day challenge or stuff like that as well because I think I didn't really record things properly and we had some technical issues and it's not. But I think the 21-day challenge is incredible. But I'd recommend start with just thinking and ideals, and then join the live calls. So if you're new here, go for that, and then I'll keep putting out new things for you. I just want to keep putting out as many new things as I possibly can and build up the yeah, everything. So I lost my train of thought there. I'll be talking a lot, getting cooked by this light as well. Christian says, will it be the thinking and ideal have a second part with the selling the vision, monetizing it, or be another course? Yeah, we'll talk about the monetization will come in many parts, but yeah, I think we'll do a second part of that, and it might be like 3 second parts. But you'll see after once I start putting all these things together, once you get the whole picture, you'll see how it all fits together, and you really start to know yourself, and you monetize things easily, and you actually enjoy every stage of the process. Because a lot of people get frustrated with life, and it's very sad. I think life is just spectacular, and it's like even the ups and downs and the twists and turns can still be a beautiful experience. So yeah, that's probably a couple more questions coming in there. I think John says thinking in ideals was really interesting. I'm thinking of redoing it, even if I just complete it. Yeah, like do these things over and over again. These things to make it a way of life. Most of my job is thinking in ideals every day. I'm constantly refining my vision. But realize it's not about the ideal home. Next time, do it about your ideal business. Next time, do it about your ideal partner if you don't have one. Next time, do it about like whatever. Just pick a different thing and apply that way of thinking and make it a way of life. So yeah. So if that's it, if nobody has any more questions, we'll probably end the call here. And if you want to join the mastermind, as I say, it's 500 for the 5 weeks, which is like peanuts for what you're getting. We'll do a test group and I'll take you through and we can go for as long as you want. It'll be incredible. Send me a private message here on Discord. That's the best place to get me. And if not, then I'll never mention it again. Maybe. I'll probably still do the course and stuff anyway. So, because again, I don't want to be sold. It's just if people want it, we can do it. If not, whatever. I got plenty of things to entertain myself. Yeah, and other than that, Cosmin, thank you very much. I appreciate you again. And when will it start? I'll let people know by the end of this week how many people there is, if we're going to do it or not, and then we'll probably just get going like pretty sharpish. Probably like within that week after. I think when we can coordinate the same time as people for each other. So yeah, that's it. Great to see you all. Thank you very much. Hopefully, you all have a great night. And Cosmin, hopefully, you'll send me the recording. Hopefully, you press record and then you hit stop recording after it, and then you can send me the recording, and I'll put up a good quality version tomorrow. So, so yeah, thank you all, everybody. And until next time, we shall see you later. I want to make these calls every Sunday, just so you know, as well. So I plan to be here every Sunday from now on, yeah, at the same time. Cool. Take care. Bye.